So we were all sent updated strategy templates last night. Can that make a difference in the profitability of this trading bot? I'll answer that question and more after the intro. As always, nothing that I say on this channel is financial advice. Trade at your own risk. Futures trading is risky. You can lose all of your capital. I am here to share with you my strategies and to showcase Robert Anderson's Goldline trading bot that I purchased. So, yes, as I mentioned prior to the intro, Robert Anderson sent an email to everyone who's purchased the bot last night saying that there was important updates that were going to be that should be downloaded and installed into the system to update each instrument strategy. Now, granted, I'm only trading the NASDAQ, oil, and the Russell, so I installed them all, but I really only looked at the differences between those three instruments that I trade. So one thing that I adopted very early in this, ever since I purchased the bot, was as new updates were being sent out, so new templates, which is what he calls it, to update the individual strategy on an instrument, as they were sending each version out, I was creating copies of those strategies, printing them out, and so I would have something as a reference to go back to and see what the differences between those templates are. And if I feel that there was a version where it was doing much better, I can always go back and reference that and say, okay, on version 2 of the templates that were sent out, this was working or that wasn't working, and maybe somehow combine the templates, not combine the templates, but combine what works from each version. As I've stated, I don't change anything on my strategies. So I pretty much just downloaded the entire file or entire folder of all of the templates for all of the instruments, uploaded into my system, adjusted obviously the time zones because he sends out the templates starting in different. So we've got the 1 minute gold line starting at a certain time, the 5 minute gold line starting at a certain time, and the 5 minute red line starting and ending at a certain time. So I got that all put in, and I started to review last night as to see what were some of the changes. And there was a few changes, to start times, which I have been stating that many times, that I would wish that especially like the NASDAQ, oil, could maybe start a little bit earlier to capture those bigger moves. I know he doesn't want to start the NQ too early because you could get yourself into a reversal very easily, but you're also going to get bigger trend moves. And that's kind of what the strategy is built for. So, it didn't. This update didn't really address, didn't address the NQ specifically, starting much earlier. He's got some strengths on some pivots and some take profit targets have been adjusted. So, and this is a part of what I understand. This is the part that Robert Anderson, I understand right now, is going through over these last 3 or 4 weeks since he put out this trading bot. He's got an invested interest in making this bot as successful as possible. I mean, we all get that, and I get that. So I know that he is probably scrutinizing every single setting that is in this bot to optimize it for current conditions. We were told in the beginning that we would to expect an update once a month on the template. Um, we've obviously gotten more than once a month, and I think maybe going forward, echoing a lot of the discussion with some people from the Discord, is that they feel like, hey, maybe we should be doing this like every 2 weeks, analyzing the market, seeing what price action looks like, seeing how each instrument has been performing, and then make some slight adjustments or no adjustments. I mean, if the thing's working great, you don't need to make an adjustment. But obviously, if the strategy numbers are not doing so well, then yeah, of course, let's make let's put an update out there on the template that might help the traders succeed. So, and I get the fact that he is probably I know he's swamped, because he's not only trying to get the website up and ready to sell this bot, but he's also dealing with the customers that inundated the site to get the bot in the first place. He's doing customer support, technical support, and then he's a trader, and then he has his own business. And on top of that, he is trying to optimize the strategy. So I'm patient. I know a lot of other people are, and I see sometimes the comments, that people just want to throw this thing under the bus, and I don't think that's fair. I think that we have to see this out, see this through, see how this performs in at least a month. I mean, in at least a month to see what it. I mean, yeah, it could fail. And to be honest with you, a challenge can fail and lose money, which is fine. My next challenge, which I have stated, what I would like to do is I would actually like to fund an account with $5,000 instead of $2,000, like I did the first time, and trade one mini. But I would like free reign as to all of the conditions that I think would optimize the strategy. I would want to trade. I would want to trade how I would want to trade it, not how I'm doing right now, where it's just the strategy is on. There's no changes to anything. I would like to be able to adjust maybe the system only looking for longs or shorts on certain days, turning off the system on certain days, maybe like big red news days. So I feel like if I can optimize or put in maybe my small amount of experience in trading into the bot, I think I can make it better. So hopefully you guys understand that. So that's what I'm putting a lot of review and a lot of time into this strategy, and I want to give it its fair shake. So I want to give the creator time.
Order canceled.
So right there we had a trade set up on the NQ or the MNQ, which was a pullback to the 5-minute gold line, but we did not get that. Smaller pullback after that touch. So once that next candle here closed higher than this high, or wicked up higher than that high, we did not have a trade here, no trade setup, and there was no part of this body or wick that was touching that 5-minute gold line to also keep that in the trade. So there was a setup, didn't work. No trades this morning. It's the 7th of November, 9:12 Central Time. I think the only strategy that turns on in the morning at 8:45 is I believe is the NQ. So that's I don't think I've really gotten many trades before 9 a.m. Let's see. Yeah, 8:45 is the NQ that's got one of the first strategies starting at that time. So yeah, that's what those are my thoughts. I have a 10-day review challenge that will be posted sometime this week, probably on Thursday. As a programming note, I am not going to be trading the Goldline trading bot Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. So I will resume the challenge on Monday. I will hopefully be able to try to get into my oil trades the next couple of days because those are a little bit more systematic, and I don't need to be in front of charts all day. Not like I have to be in front of the charts for the trading bot, but I'm just not going to have the ability to record for the next couple of days. So I think you guys are going to get some nuggets out of my 10-day review. Let's give me a quick breakdown of the strategies this morning. So my morning systematic NQ trade this morning worked to perfection on that short at 8:35. So got my $250 there. No trade setup in oil this morning, at least not from the 8 to 9 a.m. session Central Time. I'm hoping I can get a setup here before the 10 a.m. session. That would be great. I didn't trade oil today just because it didn't look like the setup was even forming. I didn't map it, but give me a second here, guys. Let me just see how natural gas would have done today. Unless we get a strong push from this point, it kind of would have been a dud. Actually, it would have been a break even right now. I would still be in this trade. So yeah, no real. I didn't take the trade this morning on gas, but at the same time, if I did take the trade, I still would be in there. But not sure we're gonna see a big push here or not. I don't think so. Okay, so that and then on the 15-minute NQ strategy. And for those of you that the things that I'm talking about, as far as my oil trade, there's a video on my channel that explains all of that. There's a link below to my Discord. I mean, people in there are freaking awesome. I mean, they have really ran with a lot of these strategies and turned them into smaller or sub strategies for other instruments, including like gold and the S&P. So it's kind of cool to see how the Discord channel has also evolved. That's completely free. There's some indicators that I've personally paid to get developed that I put on there that I give away for free. So hopefully something here can help. As far as the 15-minute NQ candlestick pattern, which I also have a video on my channel for. No setup this morning on that. So relatively quiet, but profitable. So right now I'm up $250. No trade setup on the Robert Anderson Goldline bot. Now I'm wondering if some of those settings might be reducing the number of trades. Interesting. That's going to be something interesting because I would say on average, we're the system is taking about maybe 5 to 6 trades per day. Some days more, some days less, but I would say that's the average. So I'm going to be interested in seeing what these new updates, what they might do for the system. All right, so stick around for the individual trades and my breakdown of the trades, and then my review of the day. Currently on the challenge, we started with 2,000, we got all the way up to $2,200, so we're up about 10% on the account. We currently sit at 1910 in the cash account. So that's a loss of about $90 or a little under 5% on the capital. So that's where that stands. But stick around for my comments on the actual trades that the system takes today, and then my end of day review.
Order submitted.
Okay, and here we are in a trade on the NQ. We've got a pullback here to the 1 minute gold line. So entry was 15,384.75. We're looking at a target of 403.50, which is about 18.5 points of profit. Something that the NASDAQ could very easily do. Obviously, we've been in a pretty good extension here. Pretty good trend. So like this move. I like this trade. Our stop loss is at 379.75, so about 5 points of stop. I think that actually was adjusted in the new template that was just sent out. So in a little bit of profit there. I don't know. I think we might have got up to 5 points there, or 6 points of profit. We would have a small pivot here at where that blue label's at. Obviously, some resistance.
Order
there.
canceled.
Well, we're out of that trade. So that was our first loss of the day. Let's see what else the day brings.
Order submitted.
All right, here we are in an oil trade. This is a pullback to the 5 minute red line. We are looking for a short here, and we've got a take profit of 77.72, which is roughly 80 ticks from our entry. Into some nice profit here in the beginning of the trade. We've got our first auto stop loss that was activated. So originally our stop loss was set at 78.62, and now it dropped to 78.60. So it took about and I believe here we're still running in some profit. Let's see here if our break even stop gets activated. Again, pretty aggressive target here. So there we go. We are now in a break-even trade. The 5 minute gold line, obviously, we can see a rejection to that and would probably still keep us in this trade, which is nice. But again, 80 ticks on oil.
Order canceled.
Well, second loss of the day there. Let's see what else we got.
Order submitted.
All right, here we're in another trade in oil, another short. Again, very, very aggressive target. You know, you could see moves in oil that will get you 40, 60 points, 80 points. Typically, I see a lot of those moves in the earlier sessions. You know, that transition from London to New York session, you'll see some pretty good moves. Obviously, you see moves like that when there's news, inventory days. If any type of news comes out, you might see really big moves like that. On just a normal morning, you know, after 10:30, 11 o'clock, to see a move like this would be, it just wouldn't happen all the time. So I wouldn't consider this a high probability setup. This is one of those home runs. To me, this would be almost like a grand slam here. Wouldn't have much faith in this setup. If I was given this setup 10 times in a row, I just wouldn't like it. So you can see we're in a little bit of profit here. Assuming some risk might be taken off the table here shortly. Just based with the auto trail. Let's see if we can get into some profit here. The account challenge needs it. We need a home run. There we go. There's a little bit of movement. Now again, we're going to see some congestion, some resistance here. You know, in the next, if this thing can even come down another 20 ticks, we'll probably see a pretty good strong level of resistance. And then if we can get past that, then I think everything is in play. But I think what we're asking for right here is a little bit too much for oil to give us right now. So let's see. Our stop loss really hasn't moved. See if we can get a big move here. You know, another thing too is that, you know, a lot of these trades they do get in profit. There we go. So we are, I mean, aggressive. It took me down to break even. I personally would have loved to have, for it to have not have gone to break even and left a little bit more space, because I know that this is an area right here where, you know, we can definitely see a reversal and maybe a retest to, you know, the 5-minute goal line or the 5-minute red line. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, the bot obviously it sees it sees the data, but it just doesn't. It can't obviously see the price action like how we can see it, which could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. You know, I mean, that's for sure. I mean, the nice thing is that we are in a risk-free trade, but again, this would just the profit that we're in right here would help the account. You know, right here is where I can see some. I would think that there would be some signs of resistance here. You know, to break through here, we would need a pretty strong candle here, and a pretty strong direction that the trend is going to go downwards. And that's, there you go. I mean, that's the bounce that you almost know is going to happen, and you almost could feel a retest here. And then we left some money on the table, obviously. If this was to knock us out here, you know, a lot of trades are in profit, and then just to kind of see a bounce and and being taken out for break even or for, for a loss. Come on. So we've been in this trade here for about 6 minutes. Yeah, we're just not getting that push here that we would need. Definitely not getting the push here downwards. Well, it doesn't look good. Yeah, just not having a good feeling about this trade. Didn't have a good feeling about it from the get go. Let's see if we could speed up this trade here a little bit. All right, and so that previous trade went to break even, so not too bad there. Got into a trade here on oil. This was kind of halfway through this trade. This trade actually to me looked pretty good. We're looking for a short. We're into some profit, but again, it just seems like with price action the way it is. I mean, we're in an area of consolidation here, so it would be a difficult ask to get to where we need to go. But again, it's not impossible. We break through this pivot here, and that target is absolutely attainable for sure.
Order canceled.
And this one knocks us out as well. All right, so as you guys just witnessed, it was a pretty tough day for trading here with the bot. No sugarcoating it at all. I think this is going to be the fifth day of losses on the bot, and just didn't trade good at all today. There was, and how it's kind of hard to say, what do we attribute the market, the price action and the general flow of the market today. Again, wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but wasn't great. We had some push in the early morning on the NQ that I liked. But again, the strategy doesn't pick up some of those trades in the early morning. And I've been saying this constantly. I think that is something that needs to at least to be looked at, where maybe we can, I know we can do it because we can go into the settings and change it, but I would like something to be, you know, I would like the Robert Anderson to come on and say, hey, you know what? No, based on my back testing, the start times are right, which I'm sure they are. But on the NQ specifically, those moves in the early morning are typically so strong that there needs to be a way to capture some of that movement with this bot. And currently, how it's set up, it's just one strategy that might pick it up at 8:45. So that's a small tweak that could be back tested more. As far as in my commentary, I said it. The the targets were too aggressive. They're too aggressive for the price action and for the time that they're trying to be traded at. So we ran into an oil trade. I think it was around 11 or 11:30 Central Time, and it was looking for, I think, 100 ticks of profit, and oil doesn't move at that point. At that time, it would it would take a news catalyst to make that type of move. It can do that in the morning, coming out of the London session into the New York session. You could see those kind of moves. I mean, it's still a strong move. 100 ticks is nothing to sneeze about on oil. But, at that time, I find it to be hard where, maybe some smaller targets just to kind of make it look a little bit more achievable. And again, it's that whole home run analogy that I keep making. Well, we're going up against a really good pitcher right now, and we can't hit home runs. I know for myself, I'm looking right now to try to hit a single. If I can, on several of these trades over the last 4 or 5 trading days, we've been in some decent profit on a bunch of trades. On the NQ, it hasn't been on the NQ. I could say that there has been at least 4 times that we've been in 20 plus point profit where, that's a single, that's a double. I mean, I would consider 20 points on the NQ as a double right now. And, it's better than a strikeout. So that's my feeling, is that maybe the targets need to be brought in just a little bit. Now, granted, if we would have hit one of those targets today, maybe I don't even have this conversation because, we probably would be up for the day, but we're not, and that's just the truth of it. So let me pull up here here's our account statement today. Today we took a loss of $76.34, which is pretty much all of the trades that you just saw right there. And our account sits at 1834. So if I had to do fast math in my head, I would say we're probably down in the 8% range now for the account. So we've had a reversal here. We were up 10%. Now we're down close to 10%. So yeah, it was a tough day. So let me bring up some other scenarios that the day brought us. I'm going to first bring up oil here. I'm going to bring up the NQ. All right, so here's the NQ for today. This is the 15-minute candlestick pattern. So as you can see today, no trade setups. And so that's something to keep in mind. This is pre-market, so, and it's over the ADMA. So none of these signals would work. Oil trade this morning, neither session had a setup. So the 8 to 9 a.m. session didn't have a setup, and the 9 to 10 didn't have a setup. I was able to take that one trade in my NQ at 835 on that short. So I was up $250 there. I didn't take my natural gas setup this morning. I commented on it earlier where I thought, you would have been in that trade for a while. It actually would have taken full take profit today. But I didn't get into that trade. So overall, still a profitable day for me. Obviously not a profitable system today for the Goldline trading bot. I know the Discord community on for the Goldline trades. There's some people that are stating the obvious, where it's been a while since they've taken a winner. And if you're trading in an eval account, I don't even know if you could sustain what we've had the last 4 or 5 days with the system. Now, I will tell you one thing. There are some people in the Discord that are trading the system manually, okay? Meaning that they have the indicator up, they have the bot, but they're still trading it. They're still trading this manually. Or they have the trading bot like how I have it, and for instance, they're in that NQ trade today that was in the positive for 20 points, or the oil trade that was in the positive today for close to 20 ticks. They're in there, but they're closing their positions using the close position tool at the top, or flattening their positions out in Ninja. So they're taking profit on these trades. Because that's the one thing that I definitely can attest to, is that a lot of these are going into profit, and enough profit where I think it would be a decent enough trade to take. So there's many times today where I'm like, oh man, I wish I could just close this position, because just knowing a little bit of price action, being a halfway decent trader, I would know that it's going to be very, very difficult for oil to make that move all the way down to 100 ticks and get to targets that we haven't seen in months. So, that would be a scenario where I would have gladly tried to close the position, but I didn't. I haven't closed the position on any trades. Actually, I think I did once on like day 2, because there was a trade that was still open at like 2:30, which is right almost at the closing bell for me. And just as like complete risk avoidance, I do not like having anything open on past 2:30. But what I did was I even moved the stop times to try to be before 2 o'clock, so to avoid scenarios like that, because the algos start getting in there and everything goes to shit, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, if you manually were adjusting these trades today, you might have sneaked by with a small profit, or maybe a broken even. Not like a lot of the other traders that are trading this, the bot the way I am, and and they're taking those losers, but taking those losers on with e-mini contracts, where I'm taking them with micros. Granted, I don't know if they're trading eval accounts or if they're trading cash. I'm trading cash, so what comes in and what comes out directly affects me. So I think that also weighs in on your emotion when you're going through this process and when you're trading it every day. You know, there's an emotional side of it. So, as I mentioned, I will not be trading the strategy. Most likely, I will not be trading the strategy tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. I do have a video that's going to be coming out in regards to a 10-day review on the bot where I give you guys some pretty good information on there. Some, especially for those that are trading it or manually trading it. I think you guys are going to get some benefit out of that. And I know I will definitely be taking my my oil and Nasdaq trades the next couple of days, so I'll document that. I'll keep up in Discord. Thank you guys so much for all of the support, everything that you guys, all the comments that you guys put in there. It truly is awesome to see, and the emails and the comments. I try to respond to them all. So please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and happy trading, everyone.